Steelyard, and we are here with Katie Wozniak of Katherine Elizabeth Designs.
And I'm so excited to be here today. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're excited to meet you, and I think the thing that we associate most with you is you're Chicago. You're through and through Chicago. I guess born and raised there, and you and we actually met last night at a party, at the AD party. Not to drop any names, but and you told me that you knew you want to be a designer early on, which is kind of unusual because most people come to this, or a lot of people come to this later in their life journey. So why did that happen, or how?
Well, my father is a custom home builder and started long before I was born. So when I grew up, he took me to job sites, 3 years old, and I would be at job sites walking through and learning about the construction process. And his firm has grown and has always been design build. So he's concepting for the land, for the function of the client. So what's not to fall in love with that? For me, it was amazing to learn and understand that you could really create this dream home for yourself.
Did he put you to work? Were you doing punch lists and
it was funny I started out answering the phones at his office when I got just old enough to, on Saturdays.
People are probably like, oh, that's so cute.
Yes, I thought it was cute. And I'd look over his shoulder and, I'd mess up his paperwork and his drawings, that he was working on at the time. But it was great because it was an initial understanding of what the client meetings were like when I'd shadow him and how the design process worked. So from a very young age, I'd say I'm going to be a designer and I'm going to have my own company. I just love that design portion that he was taking clients through.
Yeah.
So, and today too, we have projects that we work on together.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh.
yes. So it's wonderful.
So you do a lot of. So you're the designer on his projects. So that's
yes,
nice.
not all of them, but
so you're still your separate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clients hire us separately, but it's wonderful to be able to work with my father and his team.
So does he give you a lot of advice, or did he give you a lot of advice, on?
Oh yes, he gives little pointers here and there, and he's always form follows function. So he really wants to be sure that I am practical in the way that I'm designing and understand how it's built. So from a young age, I went with the cabinetry manufacturer and understood in the shop how cabinetry was built and put together, and I've been meeting with the tile installer. So yes, he has those things.
I've heard some conversations that a lot of designers have trouble with clients who don't really understand the importance of the phasing things. So they want to make decisions that are premature, before you get some of the. Do you run across that a lot, where it's like they're picking out the accessories while you're still trying to figure out the tile and the plumbing, stubbing?
Yes. So what I do to try to counteract that is we look at a design scope initially, and I walk through, what decisions need to be made first in the process, which really plumbing is one of the first after we get through all the architectural elements. Yes. And then it would go to wiring. And so from that, we look at the individual items decision line, but then I actually go and hopefully we're starting early enough in the process that I can look big picture with the clients. So we'll look at the large picture, the schematic design, and really get the whole concepting down for the house. And then once we have that, then we'll go back and say, let's attack plumbing, electrical, what fits into the schematic design now. And I think that really helps clients because they've got the idea, big picture of where we're going, and then the timeline and the deadlines of, and this could be, we work on a lot of new construction obviously, but we're also doing the remodels or renovations, and sometimes we're just coming in and doing a refresh of window treatment, space planning, all the furniture. But timelines are important there too, where we all know furniture can take 12 weeks.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and allocating the budget too. Just remembering that if you want that expensive sofa, we've got to stick to our budget on the front. When we're doing the plumbing and the so that's I think that's one of the harder things to keep people who have that end picture in mind, that you really need to go step by step. But
Definitely.
So what now what's the difference between, so I assume your dad used blueprints and you learned CAD. Is that the biggest difference between how he does things and you do things? Or
yes, he still likes to hand draw on our CAD drawings when we're working together, and we actually have an architect on our design team, and he is an architect on his construction team. So we're fortunate in that aspect, where then, and I can do CAD. It's going to take me a lot longer since I'm not accustomed to it as often anymore, but so they speak their language, and we actually are both sketchers, my father and I, so we sketch on top and tweak, and then
you hand it to somebody and they
yes
that's
we're
that's the way to
spoiled
do it
that way.
Yes, that's I think that's the way a lot of firms do it. Even if you know CAD, it's just, you don't have time, so you get the concept and you talk to the clients and you face the clients, and then they do that.
Yes.
So that's good. So you still pretty much your scope is Chicagoland area, or you guys call it Chicagoland, but that's like Metro Chicago, right? Is that what that means?
So Barrington, Illinois is just outside of Chicago, so that's where our firm is headquartered.
Okay.
My father's is right over the border in Wisconsin. It's Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
I love the way Chicagoans say Wisconsin.
Yes. So it's a wonderful,
it's
beautiful area. So we work quite often in what we call the Lakes area in Wisconsin, and then in Chicago area it's Barrington, the North Shore, downtown Chicago, and then we do travel quite often. When we travel, it's typically for clients that we've done multiple projects with. So
like
we're
a vacation home somewhere.
Exactly.
Or their kids' home or something.
Yeah, so we're flying across the country for those.
Do you ever do like the children of people that your father has, the clients of your father's? Are you doing generations now?
Yes, well, I know I'm redoing one home that I did 15 years ago that the kids are grown, and now I'm redoing their rooms.
But you didn't get any older.
Yes,
they just
right.
That's the kids grow up, but we don't get older.
Yes, and we've got multiple clients where we've done the parents, and now we're doing the kids.
That's really cool, because they do become like family. I always hear that they become like family, and now this is really like old family, like generations of families. So.
Yes.
That's cool. So, I think that's really interesting. I hope people, go to your website, because your stuff is gorgeous, and you have this huge team of talented people, and so it's been
so much.
Great seeing that. Very inspirational, and so now we're just going to ask a couple fun things, because I'm thinking about Halloween.
Yes.
And growing up in Chicago, I lived in Chicago for a little bit, and I remember costumes were always a challenge because it was always cold, and I always wanted to be like a mermaid or a hula girl or something.
Yes.
So, what was your favorite Halloween costume as a kid? Did you have one that really stands out?
I did. It was Minnie Mouse, and my mom handmade the costume. She's a very good seamstress, and my grandmother's too.
Really talented.
And I remember loving it because there was a little girl, she was probably 3 years old, that was at the Halloween. It was the local Halloween party.
Like apple bobbing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And she thought I was the real Minnie Mouse. So she was just hugging me and loving me, and my mom, did an excellent job with the costume, but I was just floating around thinking, I'm the real Minnie Mouse tonight.
Yeah, and your mom was like, I really nailed that.
Yeah, she was. She was so proud.
That's great. And your favorite Halloween candy?
Oh, I love Kit Kats. I can't have those in the house.
Yeah,
I gotta hide
that's
them.
one of ours too. And is that what you give out? Do you get do you get a lot of trick or treaters?
Well, sometimes I don't even buy that because I'll pick at
So
them.
you get Skittles or something that you don't
exactly.
like.
Yes.
Oh, well, it was really great talking with you, and I'm so
thank
glad
you
to
so
meet
much.
you. And I know we're going to be friends because
Yes.
you know, I just you have such a great business, and you're such an active designer, and that's what we love at Steelyard.
Well,
Designers.
thank you. I'm so excited to learn more about Steelyard, and it's just
Yeah.
an amazing search engine for designers.
Well, sounds good. Come back to the
Yes.
Airstream anytime till Tuesday at noon.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.